ज्ञानतिमिरन्दस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषशून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशकारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर हरे कृष्णा हरे 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 राम राम राम। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय हरे कृष्ण। Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 5, Chapter 8. The description of the character of Bharat Maharaj. Text number 1. Shri Shukavach Ekada tu Mahanadyam Kritabhisheka Niyamika Brahmaksharam Vikrunano Muhurta Trayamurtanta Upavivesha. Sri Shukdev Goswami continued, My dear king, one day after finishing his morning duties, evacuating, urinating and bathing, Maharaj Bharat sat down on the bank of the river Gandaki for a few minutes and began chanting his mantra, beginning with Omkar. Tatra tada rajan harini pipasaya jalashayabhya shamay upachagam. O king, when Bharat Maharaj was sitting on the bank of that river, a doe, being very thirsty, came there to drink. Tathapi piyamana udake tavadeva vidurena nadato mrugapate runado loko bhayankara uttapatat. While the doe was drinking with great satisfaction, a lion, which was very close, roared very loudly. This was frightful to every living entity, and it was heard by the deer. Tamuprashut samrugavadu prakriti vilkava chakita nirikshana sutaram ihariva yati niveshva prahdya pariplava drishtir gatatrusha bhayat sahasevo chakram. By nature, the doe was always afraid of being killed by others, and it was always looking about suspicious. When it heard the lion's tumultuous roar, it became very agitated. Looking here and there with disturbed eyes, the doe, although it had not fully satisfied itself by drinking water, suddenly leaped across the river. तस्य उत्पन्नत्या आन्तर्वल्या उरुभयावलितो योनि निर्गतो गर्भस्त्रोतसी निपतत्. The doe was pregnant, and when it jumped out of fear, the baby found its home into the flowing waters of the river. Read.
There is every chance of a woman having a miscarriage if she experiences some ecstatic emotion or is frightened. Pregnant women should therefore be spared all these external influences.
So this chapter begins with Ekta, means once upon. So, in this great devotee's life, it happened only once, and still it has such a great impact. They are always Krishna conscious, but only once they went through the distraction, and this distraction was morally very right. It was nothing immoral. He wanted to save someone. Still, it he has to pay such a great price of 3 lives to reinstate himself back to the spiritual. So for such a pure people, this distraction was a calamity. And how it came, that has been described here. So this was a normal day. He used to go to take bath, and then he used to perform his rituals. And in this way, Bharata Maharaj was spending his life very Krishna consciously. But this particular day, there happened to be these many situations occurring in front of his eyes. The dog came and she was drinking the water. The lion came, he roared very loudly, and dog got scared and she jumped in the river to cross it. But in that attempt, the dog got miscarriage, and eventually she dies. So this rose compassion in the heart of Bharat Maharaj. A motherless child, that too, animal child, he became very much aggrieved that in this forest, neither the relatives of the doe will take care of the child, and neither child knows anybody in this world. So he thought it's my duty to protect. So in this way, his compassionate heart got this deer's attention, this baby deer. So for such a personality, this can be a distraction. It has happened in modern times. People only don't bother. Forget about animal. Even human beings also not attended. If suppose there is an accident on road and the person is, breathing his last breath. So hardly people want to save. And they just want to get rid of that situation. To take him to hospital, it is a botheration actually. Not economically, but the legal implications are there. That's why people don't want to get into it. But very few people, they compassionately, take that person to the hospital. So, as this baby is miscarried from the mother's womb, So for saintly people, every living entity is a miscarriage. They got miscarried from the womb of Krishna, and they came to material. We have left out dear, loving mother, father of spiritual world, that is Lord, and we have stuck up in this material. So we are also like motherless, fatherless, anath. So that is the situation of every living entity in this world. You know. So this compassion which Bharat Maharaj has, that compassion that devotees also have, and they want to make us fortunate by uniting us back to our original Father, that is Lord. Brahmande Brahmite, Kuna Bhagyavansh, Guru Krishna Prasade Pai. So we are away from Krishna and took birth in so many homes and took so many forms, enjoyed those life, suffered those life, and died. And again took birth according to our karma. And that way this cycle is going on. So that is not a real nature of us. We have to go back to spiritual world. So when the compassion of Vaishnava falls upon us, they see that we are, spiritually miscarried, then they will like to take care of us and again make us understand who is our real protector, who is our master, and that way we can come back to original state of our existence. So this is compassion. And because this compassion of Vaishnavas, there is hope for every one of us. Because Lord doesn't want to interfere our independent desires, and neither we have a desire to go back to it. So it's a deadlock. We don't want to go, Krishna doesn't want to force. So how we will break through it? So the devotees are only saving grace to all of us. They literally force us to love Krishna. And they literally force Krishna also to show us compassion. So they request Krishna that please take this person. Radharani also recommends us. So we should not think it's our qualification that I can attend devotional service or I can attend spiritual work, I can attend Krishna. No? So it's not our prerogative, it's not our, fortune. It's all by the mercy of devotees. Sometimes we make some other person devotee and we think that I have delivered this person. If I would not have come in your life, you would have rotten in material world. Like that, we have attitude. And that's why we want to preach. so that I become savior of fallen souls. So that is also not right. Every preacher feels that they are most fallen. And they don't feel that I am delivering others. Rather, they feel that if this devotee becomes, serious in spiritual life, and if he goes back to Godhead, then he can recommend me to Krishna and I can get delivered. So the devotees who are in right mode of preaching, they'll always will think other devotees will pray for me, they will deliver me. So any advanced devotee also will not feel that I am delivering others. Prabhupada also said, that you all are like my spiritual masters. So he gave credit to his disciples. So such a stalwart devotees, they feel unqualified. They don't want to exhibit their greatness. So what to speak about us then? So we are already bereft of devotion to Krishna. So we should never feel that I am devotee of Lord. So this humble mood only can save us from falling down in spiritual life. So already we have fallen from spiritual world, and little bit we are practicing. So in that also by pride we should not again fall down. And pride is such a thing that it never makes us feel that I am fallen. So the patient doesn't feel any seriousness about the medicine. He feels that I am healthy. And that feeling will cause him more sickness. He will not take medicine seriously. He will take all prohibited things. And that way he will become more sick. So same way, we also don't take the medicine seriously. And how will come to know that I am taking medicine seriously or not? We should just analyze our japa. Is mantra going in my ear, and from ear it is entering in the heart, and whether I am getting purified. So that is chanting. Then comes reading. Then comes hearing. Then comes serving. So every process of devotional service should purify our heart, and love for Krishna should arise in our heart. So if we are falling short of taking the practice of devotional service seriously, then this will not work. And the desired results will not appear in our heart. We become unnecessarily puffed up. We think less of others, more of ourselves, and we determine other devotees' advancement by our judgment, and we forget to judge ourselves. And that way, we cannot move ahead in spiritual life. Rather, we go very back in our spiritual life. So like that, the time will go, years will go, and lifetime will also go, and we will stuck up in this material world, and that is a real calamity. So we have to be very cautious. And how one can become cautious?
Association,
Hmm.
reading, regular reading.
Maybe.
Who understands that Krishna is
Hmm.
very constantly do not follow.
Hmm.
Arvind, Vaishnav. Ending physical service.
So one has to seek a right association, and one has to keep oneself very alert. And how can we remain alert? When we live our life with mode of goodness. At least we should live in mode of goodness. Because mode of passion will make us more ambitious, more, it will take us towards passion. And in ignorance, life is hallucination. Like we get up in the morning and we get awakened at 9 o'clock. 4:30 till 9, we are in deep hallucination. We don't realize also whether I took bath, whether I brush my teeth, or whether like that it goes on. We are just somehow struggling, and we are most alert night 10 o'clock, 9 o'clock, till 11 o'clock. We don't get sleep also. The time which is meant for sleeping and the time which is meant to remain awake, we are sleeping. So this has to be corrected, and that requires determination. So let us make our ahar vihar right. If you eat at 10 o'clock, obviously it will have an impact. So we have to do right way. Our body is also machine. If a diesel car is there, you put petrol in it, how it will go? So same way, this life is a human life. We have to behave like a human beings. Surprisingly, all animals follow their etiquettes very nicely. You will not find a pigeon also in the night time. They are not there. Every morning the cock will roost, no matter what you read. Nobody tells, he doesn't have to put alarm clock. He naturally wakes up. So they live very systematically. But we are so advanced, and we are so advanced that we degrade also very advanced. Means in that also we are advanced. So if you don't want to progress nicely, then we will take our life to other extreme. So we have to be very careful. We have to analyze where my life is going, what time of the day I am alert. Spiritual life I am attending very nicely, or there I am, going in mode of ignorance while practicing devotional service. So when people perform devotional service ignorantly, then what results are there? People will think I am only devotee. People will think others are fallen, and we will see offenses, shortcomings in others. So like that is the mode of ignorance. So we have to come out of all this and practice very balanced spiritual life. So we should come to mode of goodness at least, and the mode of goodness characteristics are mentioned. The food in mode of goodness, the action in mode of goodness, the speech in mode of goodness. So all these things are mentioned. So we should direct what kind of food we are eating, what kind of thoughts are coming in our mind, what inputs we are giving to our senses. That all will decide our modes. So we don't want to stuck up even mode of goodness. We want to go beyond mode of goodness. So our consciousness should be Vasudeva Shuddha Sattvam. That is, we should be Krishna conscious. So the mode of goodness is helping us to become Krishna conscious. That's why we are trying to become alert and go into mode of goodness. So that way, if we are, molding our life, then we can realize what accidents we are going through. Otherwise, people they fall in gutter after drinking. And if there is a light in the sky, they say, "Don't click my photo." So they don't realize also they are in. So that is very pathetic. So at least we should realize where I am. We have to introspect ourselves. What kind of my actions are, how I stay, how this all will decide. The surroundings you keep, the thoughts you keep in your mind, the words you speak. So this has to be improved. So Shudras live certain way, Vaishyas live in certain way, Kshatriyas live certain, Brahmanas live certain, and devotees live in certain way. So we have to be very, alert. And by coming to this, pure Krishna consciousness, we can make our life perfect. Otherwise, days will go, years will go, but the progression is very slow. Sometimes it goes in negative only. So we are not taking advantage of our life. The human life, which is so rare, we got every hour is so important, every minute is so important. So we are advancing or not, that we have to check. If we are not advancing, that means we are degraded. So if you don't put positive endeavors, put very hard pressure on ourselves, we cannot move ahead. And that's what we have to do. Devotee does that. He is conscious of every activity he is doing. Even spiritual activities also, they are very careful. Like Bhaktivinoda Thakur used to solve cases in 10-15 minutes, which is to take 6 months to other people. So even material life also people can live very nicely if they are, balancing themselves to pure goodness. So our consciousness will become very sharp, our thinking will become very, systematic. Our every activity will become impactful. And we can protect ourselves, from any danger. Lord says, I'll protect my devotees. At least we should call out Krishna in difficulties. If that time also we don't call, then how? So we have to come to such a level that we can understand where my life is going, what I'm thinking. So if life is very clean, then even little bit goes wrong, you can correct it. Like you have white dhoti, if there is a one black spot, you can identify it. But you see garage people, their hand is filled with gas, they will just wipe it to their pants. Because the pant itself is such a, it doesn't matter only for them. But you cannot do that with dhoti. If you are wearing dhoti, you will not put grease to your dhoti. Because it's very clean. So same way, if we keep our consciousness very clean, then we will not make it dirty. But if our dress is like garage person, our consciousness is like garage person, then we don't mind only our consciousness. We like to hear blasphemy. We like to, our tastes are different. So our spiritual practice, we don't get interest. And then we blame that spiritual life is not interesting. Because we never practice spiritual life, so that's why we feel it's not interesting. Then material life will appear very interesting. And we will feel bored in spiritual life. We'll feel that same, I have to chant this mantra, same, I have to attend this mangalati or whatever. And we will become very mechanical. And that way our advancement stops. So that's why we have to be very cautious, careful, where I am going. This question we should always, introspect. And good association will make us remind us, But we run away from good association. Like somebody would tell us, let us read together. Then immediately we get so many excuses. But sometimes we talk about so many people, and that time, how time goes, we don't understand also. The plate is dried, hands are dried, but we go on discussing, talking. We get so much interest in such a topics. So we should make our consciousness like a honeybee, not a housefly. Housefly, even in rose garden, it will sit on stool only. But a bee can fly 2 kilometers, but it will sit only on flower. Stool. So Vaishnavas are like swan. You find crows everywhere on garbage, but you will never find a swan there. And crow also, if very neat and clean place will be there, the crow will never, it will not come there. So that's why we have to make our mind like a swan. Krishna Tvadiya Padapankaj Panjarant Adeve Vishatumanas Rajhans Prana Prayana Samaye Kafvat Kantavarodam Vido Smaranam Kutas. So for devotees, their mind becomes like a swan. It is interested in only lotus. So that way we should, make our consciousness pure and realize where we are, and then we should try to take association seriously to advance progress in spiritual life to please Krishna, and by mercy of Lord and His devotees, we can enter in the abode of Supreme Personality Godhead. That is perfection of human life, and we should try to move in that direction, spend our time in that direction. Okay. Any questions here? Yes.
Some half of 50% of devotees are like they're working professionals. So they are associating. They are not associating. They're like going to their workplace offices. Their offices are mostly they are not culturally rich or somewhere following US culture. The consciousness, how to keep the consciousness right, job and something. Very tough. So we are living temple. यहाँ पे अगर devotees association we keep hearing, but while working we can't. While working we have to focus on that thing, and we have to be like we have to show passion to them at least. We are not passionate inside, but at least for some time we are doing to show passion to them, and we have to give results. How to?
First of all, association is not a physical proximity. Okay? Like a saintly person, they're walking. One woman was drowning. So he jumped in that water and he bring out that woman. And after 2 weeks, this friend of that saint, another saintly person, he said, "How can you do that?" Then he asked, "What? You saved that woman? How you touched that woman?" Then his person, "Oh, when? 2 weeks before." Then this person said, "I just saved and I forgot. But you are carrying that woman more than me. So who is taking association of woman more? The man who is thinking about the woman. So that doesn't mean every student should try to save woman. That is not the lesson we have to learn. But the thing is that we have to carry Krishna in our mind. So those who are going office, if they perform their morning sadhana nicely, then they will get a Dabur Chyawanprash. Like we have an ad comes in Dabur Chyawanprash. If he eats 1 spoon of Chyawanprash, around his body there is a that no germs can pierce him or touch. So same way, if you do nice, wear nice morning sadhana do perfectly, then we will be protected. So those who are going to office, they are not only vulnerable. Those who are staying inside also, they are vulnerable. Enemies are not outside; they are also inside. The objects did not bring us agitation, but the imagination of the objects also brings the agitation. So we have to be very careful, that no time whether I am inside or outside. Like people die in the ICU also. And some people in general also get cured. The same way we have to be very careful whether I am taking right, spiritual life in right way or not. So that way it will protect us. So those who are going outside, they should be cautious. But those who are staying inside, they should also be cautious. We cannot relax ourselves anytime. Kal Krishnadas was with Lord Chaitanya. Still he fell down. How is that possible? Because he got carried away. So we, whether we are inside or outside, we have to be cautious. If we are not cautious, accident is guaranteed. So the matter is of becoming conscious. Situation may vary. So we should try to become very strong so that we can handle the situations. Our immunity should be strong. If your immunity weak, then little bit also can make us sick. So that's why those who do very good sadhana, they will not have any impact of material life. Rather, they will become very intelligent, very smart, and they will act very, cleverly to make things go right. Krishna Bhakta, what is that? Bada Chatur. Jai Krishna Bhajai, say Chatur. So we'll get that intelligence. Krishna will give that intelligence. So if devotees are not doing their jobs properly, so they are certainly lacking their spiritual life. They don't do job here also nicely, and neither they do job there also nicely. Those who become brahmacharis by escaping mentality, they escape here also services. But those who are very, great in their material life, they also become great in their spiritual life. So it is our nature which we carry. So it doesn't matter. Devotees will do very bare minimum or whatever required to get a good will and perform their career nicely. Because for them, material life also is spiritual only. They think that job is for Krishna's service. Because he is giving donation from that earning. So that also becomes spiritual. So Vaishnavas have power to make spiritual material also spiritual. And we have power to make spiritual to material. We make our sadhana as a material. It's like a job only. We do like a job. Put half-hearted, job. We are legally keep ourselves clear, but heart-wise we are absent. So we have to become genuine in our spiritual practice also. So that way we can attract the mercy of Lord. Okay. Thank you. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Anand Koti Vaishnav ki jai. RVC VOICE की जय.